you're gonna go whether we're ready or not. Honestly,
Yeah, like the button gets pushed.
Yeah,
you know, it's a thing that happens, and we can't stop it. Well, y'all can't stop it.
The button
can't
clicks
stop, won't
itself.
stop.
The button at some point is going to click itself. This much I know. With us living in the world of AI, eventually the button is going to become sentient, and it's going to decide that, I'm not recording y'all. You three are idiots. You don't deserve to be on a podcast.
And we'll just have to sit back and say, thanks, Pam.
Good old Pam. And Pam really was AI before AI.
Yeah.
But she wasn't?
The Fairly KickAss podcast?
Yes! Give that man a gold star.
I was like, there were a lot of potential answers to that, but I thought that's where you were leaning.
Yeah.
Much better than what I would have come up with had I thought about it.
It's the context clues. That's what keeps us in business. And by us, I mean Zach, I mean Dan, I mean Jay. Your three stewards of the good ship KickAss, as it were. We thankfully for all of you are talking about a topic that is much more illustrious and amazing than any of the three of us are. This is one of our one song episodes where we take an entire artist's discography, strip it down to the brass tacks, and pull out the absolute diamond, which is an intended pun, which you'll see in a minute, amongst all of the possible tracks. And today's artist is one that truly, truly needs no introduction. We're talking sales of over 250 million records worldwide, the second best-selling female music artist of all time, the highest certified female artist of all time on the RIAA's top artist, aka digital singles ranking. 7 diamond certified singles, 14 number ones, 32 top 10s, an estimated net worth of 1.4 billion with a B. And not all that's for music, because she is also a legend in the fashion industry. And if that's not enough, if that is not enough for you, the Barbadian ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary. Those are a lot of big words. I don't know what they mean, but they have to be important, especially if they describe the legend that is Robin Fenty, aka Rihanna.
Booyah. You did that about 90% fantastically.
Which is about 30% more than I do most of the show. So I will gladly take it.
I mean, look, it's a pass either way.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take it.
And our courses generally run pass fail, so it didn't matter.
Hey, D's get degrees. I think that's how it goes.
That's right.
Thankfully, this podcast is also graded on a curve, so
it has to be. Yeah, really. We'd still be sitting in the back in third grade in the podcasting world at that point.
Right. I mean, and in a lot of ways we are. So
yeah, that's true. Wrong. Look, we're always the kids sitting in the back of the class.
Mm-hmm. That's where the cool kids are. So I don't know how we got
we didn't get back there. Yeah, I don't know how that worked.
But yeah, like Rihanna's reputation precedes her bona fides, her accomplishments in the music industry. One of the all-time greats to ever pick up a microphone. That is not up for discussion. What is up for discussion is what the very best song in her discography is, and that's what we are about to discuss. I am pulling up our handy-dandy random number generator to see what our batting order is going to be. Each of us is going to be given 2 minutes to explain what the song is that is the best song and why, to basically plead our cases to us hosts and, more importantly, to all of you, the listeners. We'll give you the keys to the kingdom to let you know exactly how to reach out to us after the show to let us know which one of us is right, if none of us are right. But that is a thing for a slightly later time. Once we get to the end, we still have to get through the proceedings here. And our batting order is going to start with Dan is going to go first, which seems to be a rarity.
It's true. I shouldn't go first for anything, but still.
Followed by me, and Jay is going to be bringing up the rear in third.
All right.
Let me pull up a clock for you, Dan, if you are ready.
I am. This seems antithesis to what I normally do here, but good luck. God bless.
Okay, I'm going to get you started in 3, 2, 1, go.
I think it's safe to say, though it may be an oversimplification, that Rihanna has two modes: emotional and powerful balladeer, and the engine of bangers. And it's only honestly tough to figure out which one she's better at and which turns out to be the better tracks for her. I did start this assignment thinking that I knew what my number one would be. My favorite at the time, Love on the Brain. A brilliant soul throwback that was the show stealer from Auntie, and most importantly, didn't feature Drake, and it felt like the choice. Until I found something that crossed Rihanna's streams and tapped into all the pop sensibilities that always get my attention, as well as took the production so far over the top that it just can't be ignored. It is the sixth single off 2011's Loud. My one song is California King Bed. When we're in this space, we talk a lot about the simplicity of songs and how, when done really well, that simplicity can produce great music. So you take all those pop simplicities and then you crank them up to 11. And then you layer on an underrated vocal performance and you have a truly great track. And perhaps my reaction to this song is a product of wading through too many movie soundtracks for a project elsewhere, and this could be generously described as the song to play during the immediate post-breakup song during a rom-com. But there's something in a modern R&B power ballad. Big and boisterous while getting an outpouring of emotion, maybe too much, but leaving no doubt in the deluge of pain and confusion and loneliness and vulnerability in that situation. Her vocals still come across as genuine through all that, even if they might be a little too I don't want to miss a thing-ish. And I mean, that guitar solo through the bridge and final chorus. Cheesy? Sure. Fire, though? Also, yes. California King Bed is a case where too much is just right. And at the end of the day, for me, I know this one, only for me, is Rihanna's best song.
Hit the nail on the head of time, yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I am
confused. I know, me too.
No. The opposite of that. I am frustrated that I didn't think of California King Bed when I was doing this assignment. I don't know how I didn't listen to it or how I didn't remember that it even existed. I may have made a mistake with my own list because, that one would absolutely be up there.
And again, like you said, to be fair on this record, like, it was overshadowed by it was the sixth single on this record. Like, it was well overshadowed.
I'll be the voice of dissent here. I feel like it was the sixth single for a reason. I don't feel like it didn't hold my attention in the way that the other singles from that record did.
I mean, there were a lot of great songs on that record, though.
There were. And I've already extolled my affection for the seventh single off of that album, Cheers.
Yeah.
And y'all agree with me on that one when we were talking about that.
Yeah,
so
Cheers is a better song.
Okay. I am taking your criticism with like a salt line's worth.
Sure.
After what, we were talking about off air yesterday.
Uh-huh.
So, that's fine. We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there.
Yeah. Of course. Like, I mean, you should always take my criticism with a salt mine. That's listen.
No, not normally the whole island's worth of salt. Usually, it's like the shaker or maybe like the big thing, like the big Norton thing.
Sure.
Where you pour like out the waterfall. But this time, no, I'll take like, an entire country's worth of salt on this one.
The entire Himalayan salt mine.
Ooh, that's
if it's in the Himalayas and it's pink, I'm taking that shit.
Stuff. Yeah. Get on the Himalayan pink salt, y'all. It is. Get a lamp too. They do lamps.
Yep.
Yeah, but what are we talking about again?
Hey Zach, are you ready to present your?
Yeah.
Could you mind doing something that's supposed to do the thing?
I was hoping we could stall a little more, but no, I am very much ready. As ready as I'm going to be.
I suppose I could pull up a stopwatch for you.
Yeah, sweet.
Can I hang on? So
I think I know.
I pulled up stopwatch, and Google has a built-in stopwatch, right? Like this is nothing to think, but I just pulled this up, and I wanted it's a question that is so silly that I have to stop. So you get the people also ask thing, which meant people Googled this question enough to show up in this. And number 2 is, how long is 99 hours?
That's absolutely brilliant.
I think I can
with
answer
no
this
further
one.
context.
No, I think you got it there, boss.
I'm gonna go with 99 hours.
I'm gonna go with that one too.
Now I could see if it's like a really absurd measure, like the old Rent thing, the 525,600 minutes. Like, how long is that? Someone saying like how many days, how many years, whatever.
That would be
That's a
one
different
if they'd
question.
asked, right? How many days or how many minutes in 99 hours? Okay, sure. That's that. But it's just how long is 99 hours?
About yay big, I would say.
About yay? Yeah, that's
The
about yay.
thickness of a James Michener novel.
Oh,
Oh,
producer Nikki's going to be very upset to hear that name. She has beef with James Michener. It's a whole,
As she should.
of all the random beefs that the producer of this podcast has, James Michener is towards the top of the list.
so wait, would you say a Michener is about 1.5 Clancy?
Oh, no, it's well beyond that.
Oh, you're talking more like maybe two whole Clancy's?
Yeah, like 2.24 Clancy's. It's the kilogram to the pound, right? That's the ratio. It's 2.24.
Oh, okay. For those of you not playing along quite in the same intellectual world, the relationship would be a shit ton related to a fuck ton.
Which is not quite as big as a metric fuck ton.
No. Well, obviously, because
Or an imperial fuck ton.
It's an imperial. Like, we use freedom units around here. Thank you very much.
How many hamsters would it take?
11 bligillion.
We go to incredible lengths to not use actual measurements.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, bring back the cubit, cowards. Shouldn't have got away from it in the first place. Come on.
And I'd like to point out that we tap danced more than long enough for you to finish whatever you need to do over there for you.
It was delaying the inevitable is truly what it was. So
apparently, so I can go ahead and get you started in 3, 2, and 1.
Listeners, co-hosts, future sponsors, because Lord knows we don't have any current sponsors. A PSA for everyone, real quick, if you're going to write anything into a Google Sheets documents, like say your notes for this exact podcast, and maybe didn't save those notes, like by hitting enter or clicking off them before rebooting your computer. What I'm trying to say is that this is mostly going to be from the hip, which is fine because for an artist such as Rihanna, it's easy enough to commit your thoughts to memory and then throw them back in Google Sheets when your laptop reboots a few minutes later, which is what I did. My One Song is a track so good that it caused me to violate a longstanding rule that I've had for these specific episodes, which is that the song in question must be the artist by themselves, without collaborations, without anyone else, completely solo. I had to violate it for this exact track. Because even though this is a collab, it still showcases everything that makes Rihanna what she is. The pop mastery, the amazing vocals, the kind of difference between the ballad and the club bangers, as Dan referenced, this one falling into the ballad territory, which brings up the raw emotion and the absolute command of a track. So congratulations more than anyone in the world to Nashville's own Mikey Echo, because you get to ride along on this one. My One Song is Stay. In a scientific sense, it's a song about magnetism. Being inexplicably drawn to someone, which incidentally is how I feel about this song. Mikey doesn't do much to boost the track. I mean, how could he? It's Rihanna, for goodness sake. But he doesn't bring it down either. He does his part. He mainly stays out of the limelight, and he lets the star shine. Equal parts plaintive and resolute, Stay is as near a perfect pop ballad as you'll get from any of the greats, and Rihanna is squarely at the top of that list.
Woo. You had to speed up your patter there for the end of that.
Yep.
Yeah, we went double time there at the end.
Nah,
we got it through though.
You got it through. May I also add fucking Madniks. How do they work?
Fucking Breaking Bad reference.
Nope.
But you know what?
It's a reference to Miracle. I can't do it. Sorry.
Don't tell him. It's better he doesn't know, because that way he can completely deny knowledge of the song, and he'll be better off for it.
Shit. Okay, I remembered. Now I'm sad.
That's the correct response to that. Aw.
I was hoping to purge that one from my memory.
So are we all. Anyhow, I have less argument with yours than I do with Dan's.
That is uncommon.
Yeah. That's very uncommon.
I found it very hard to violate that rule because like there's a lot of stuff, a lot of collabs.
There's a lot of collabs.
A lot of collabs. But I had to initially. Did I mention Drake?
Yeah. Yeah.
That amounted to like probably 5% of the discography.
And when doing research in this, and this has nothing to do with your song, I have no argument with your song, actually. I just didn't put it on my lists because it was a collab. However, Work kept coming up as one of the top, like top 3 for a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't get it. That's the wrong answer.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And if I may, the worst 3 songs, the 3 seconds of a song to kind of help kill it. If you was a twin, I would still choose you.
Yep. If for no other reason, that should have banned the song from anybody's list.
How do you know? Bro, how do you know?
Like,
yeah,
you would think that someone has friends that would tell them, like, this ain't it, man. This ain't it. Take this one back.
If there's one thing we know about Drake, it's that he does not have those friends that should tell him these things.
Yeah.
That's so true. That's so incredibly true.
If he had friends that would tell him those things, like the last 2 months just wouldn't have happened.
Yep.
2 months ago, like it was all good 2 months ago, man. Drake was living the dream. Anyway, that's also another podcast.
That's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Time.
Anyway, yes.
That's not a podcast. That's the fucking nightly news.
That's at least 4 3/4 Clancy's.
I love the callback to the dumbass bit because it makes it even more likely that it has to stay in because it makes Nikki's editing job that much harder.
Oh my God.
I wish I could say I'm smart enough to do that, but that's not intentional.
Nope. We just don't have filters, and whatever's coming out is coming out.
Yep.
She's just going to delete the whole thing.
That's probably for the best.
To be fair, I'm surprised that this whole thing hasn't been deleted in general. She's just been feeding us fake info the entire time to just be like, here, you guys go ahead. It keeps you guys off the street at least once a week.
Yeah, we post it wherever you can get your podcasts. We sure do.
Hey.
It's just Mike repeating everything word for word on the street corner.
Like somehow downloading it into a speak and spell. Well, Jay, on that note, what does the J say about Rihanna?
Well, let's get me a clock, and I will tell you.
I got you open, so you're free to go in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Well, I'm going to be the giant wet blanket in this episode, apparently, because I have come to the conclusion that I only truly love Rihanna, a song or two at a time. So narrowing down this list of hits, because let's face it, basically her whole catalog is hits, became pretty easy to narrow down. Which songs are bangers, even when you've grown tired of Miss Riri? That list for me was pretty small. I landed on the first one, the very first one. I landed on Ponder Replay. It was my introduction to Rihanna, which is true for most people as it's her first big single. Is it trashy dance pop? Is it certified club banger? Is it a dance hall reggae main course with a Barbadian side dish? The answer is yes to all 3. The song serves as a capsule for what she would be capable of throughout her career. The song is guaranteed to get people dancing. Her voice contains all of the strength and beauty that we've come to know her for. The lyrics are a bit repetitive, but not in that annoying Calvin Harris way. Her patois is audible, giving us a flavor of her culture, with the title translating to Play It Again in Bajan Creole. And depending on the bar situation, I could absolutely see myself calling out, "Hey, Mr. DJ, Ponder Replay" for this song. I would subsequently be tossed out of said bar for screaming at a touch tunes. It's worth noting that she was 17 at the time of the song's release, and Jay-Z almost didn't sign her because he thought the song was bigger than the artist could even be. The song peaked at number 2 on the charts only because Mariah Carey's We Belong Together was taking a 14-week staycation at that spot. And that, for all of those reasons and a few others, that is my number one song for Rihanna. I yield the remainder of my time.
Giving us 6 seconds back. Oh, that's the perfect stopping point there. As much as you want to be contradictory, I don't have any issues with this as a choice for her best. Like, I mean, the idea of you doing one, just doing the one, and that's it. And then everything else is going to be fighting to get back, because she clearly wasn't a one-hit wonder.
Right.
But it was so good.
It was so good.
Like, of course it's on my A list, which becomes the honorable mentions that don't make it.
And truth be told, obviously, Rihanna in 2005, which is when this album came out, Music of the Sun, versus Rihanna in 2016 when, Anti came out, and, whatever lies ahead after that. There certainly has been improvement. There certainly has been maturity, as you would expect from any artist in a 10-year span. But, like both of you said, she was still so good out the gate that even if she didn't improve a lick, she would still have been like one of the premier pop artists of, the last 20 years.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. No arguments with the pick. I mean, it holds up. Also, it's every bit as good today as it was when it came out almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I want to go choke almost.
Right. But you do make an interesting point, is that 20 years old, and it's still a certified banger that will still get people moving. And it doesn't necessarily, it's not 100% of its time. Like, you could make that, you could do that now.
Yeah.
For sure.
It does not reek of 2005. For lack of a better term.
I love that you guys are helping make my argument.
I mean, if there was a detraction that I had, it's that, it's exactly why I said that she has objectively better songs because she has become objectively better throughout her career. So
yeah, and I do feel like there are, there's definitely songs that are better lyrically, particularly if you look forward to things on like Anti. Going that far forward lyrically, there's much better songs. But I don't think, for me, that mix of club banger, vocal prowess, and lyricism is missing from a lot of the individual songs in her catalog. That sounds like I'm ragging on her, but I'm not. I do feel like this first thing, Jay-Z he could very easily have been right, where this song was just way bigger than she could have been.
Well, I mean, I'm for one, as much as I love Hove, I'm for one, I'm glad that he was wrong about that.
Oh yeah, right. Well, he signed her, so.
Oh yeah.
It turns out he was wrong and right at the same time.
Right. Well, what was almost right for y'all, aka your honorable mentions, and Dan, we'll start with you. I know that there have been a million billion hits. It's hard to distill it down, but what are the things that just barely missed your cut?
Yeah, of course. And I don't know. I've explained how I do this, so I just go with an A, B, and C as I compile a bunch of the list of songs I want to listen to, or listen to them. A's are where I pull from, and whatever's there that doesn't make it gets honorable mention. And there's a bunch. I mentioned Love on the Brain, which would probably be like 1A. But I also have Unfaithful, another big one. Umbrella. Yes, possibly deserving. Too easy. Same thing with Disturbia. Not the same thing with Te Amo, but also a great song that's a major change in the sound from things before that. Man Down, the aforementioned Diamonds, S&M's a banger. Don't Stop the Music is sort of Ponder Replay Part 2. Ponder Replay's up there. Same thing with Take a Bow on the ballad side, and Higher, and Russian Roulette, and Cheers, obviously, and Lift Me Up. Heartbreaking on multiple levels. Just the song itself and then everything surrounding the song. And then a personal pick because it found me at the right time. P.S. I'm still not over you.
I ain't mad at a few of those.
No.
Yeah, seriously. Good ass list. Again, it's hard to, this is one of those artists where there aren't that many wrong answers to the question. And yeah, I don't think you had a single one. I did my honorable mentions in a little bit of a different way, just kind of wanting to give more accolades to some of these tracks, even though they weren't quite at my top spot. But for instance, like Run This Town was the best Rihanna hook that I could think of in her discography. We Found Love was the best club banger, and the best a million other things too. That's probably my number two if we were doing a 2 song as opposed to a 1 song. Rude Boy, it's right in the name, the rudest track in the entire discography. It's great, it's fantastic. Disturbia, the darkest and in a lot of ways the prettiest track in that darkness in her discography. California King Bed, apparently the most forgettable track. Again, I sincerely apologize, Rihanna, for somehow overlooking that masterpiece, and Dan as well. And What's My Name for I guess the most math of a Rihanna song. We'll say that. Shout out to our boy Drake again.
Oh, that's fun. My honorable mentions list kind of mirrors both of yours. I had Rude Boy, Te Amo, I had Only Girl in the World, and Love on the Brain.
Yeah,
those are the ones I had in my honorable mentions. I think I did figure out what I didn't like about California King Bed ultimately, and that is that in my head I hear the random ass country version that she did with Jennifer Nettles.
I'm not familiar.
Me neither.
Yeah, well, so the internet's a terrible place. So I don't watch the ACM Awards, and yet I've heard this. So like, I hate the internet sometimes, but that is probably why I dislike the song. Is that version?
I could see how that may color your opinion of it, and that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm morbidly curious. I'm going to pull it up later.
Yeah, of course I'm going to do it, but yeah.
Well, what's the old Bugs Bunny thing? I'll do it, but I'll probably hate myself in the morning.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Like a lot of that's much like all of you listeners who spent, probably about 30 minutes of your day listening to this episode. You will probably also hate yourself in the morning for it.
Yeah.
Unless you're listening to us over breakfast.
Oh, we are a breakfast podcast. That's right.
Right.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Wait, was that a callback to another breakfast, or have I phased out of? Did we do it this show? I forgot.
I think we made that call on the last episode that we are. I don't remember why we're a breakfast podcast, but Jay has declared it so.
I mean, it makes sense.
You know why? I just remember I forgot the assignment because we made that reference in a previous, and I was supposed to come up with a tagline way back then, and I still haven't.
Oh, that's right.
Something bacon and eggs.
The Cinnamon Toast Crunch of the podcast world. No, that's not right.
That's giving us way too much credit.
Way too credit. We're more like the Captain Crunch of the podcast world.
Oh, shred up the roof of your mouth?
Shred up the roof of your mouth.
Oh.
That's really just the crunch berries.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the actual Captain Crunch part is fine.
So we're like the oops all berries.
Oh, God, that's just asking for it. Your mouth will never recover.
We're the malto meal of breakfast foods.
I got it. Ready? The Fairly KickAss Podcast. The Quisp of the podcast world.
The podcast world? I love
podcast world, because I can't speak apparently.
I feel like it makes more sense to call us a podcast, but I don't know why.
I don't. Yeah, I
kind of love it.
Someone's going to ask me what a podcast is, and I'm going to go, I don't know, because it was supposed to be an outtake, and it never went out.
It was just a take.
It was just a take.
No out.
Well, we now have to be that.
We now have to do that. However, you can take your feelings about what we just said about Rihanna's best song and throw them back in our faces. And Zach is here to tell you the exact way to do that.
Indeed. Yeah, we have we have so many ways to get a hold of us hosts of the Fairly KickAss podcast. I'm just practicing because it's going to take me a while to get used to that. At Fairly KickAss on Twitter, at Fairly KickAss on Instagram, at Fairly KickAss on. Put the trophy down. How dare you?
I'd like to thank the Academy.
This I can't deal with him at the moment. At Fairly KickAss on whatever I didn't say at this point. Threads. I think I missed Threads. We're there too. Fairlykickass@gmail.com if you need to email us. fairlykickAss.com is our website where we have all of our ride-along playlists that end up on Spotify. We'll have one for this episode. It'll have all of our honorable mentions. Of course, it'll have our one songs on it right at the top, so you can play along at home and let us know what you think about the choices that we made. And one other, minor thing, which I may have forgot to mention on the last episode, is where you can actually find this podcast.
Details.
No idea how I overlooked that one, but I did. So I'm making up for it here. Wherever it's easy, wherever you find your podcast, search for us. I'm not even going to tell you the providers because it's whatever provider you use is a provider that we use. And if you can't find us on your provider, please let us know in all the various ways I just mentioned. We will make sure to remedy that and get on the provider that you like. Yeah, follow us, like us, however you do it through your podcast provider. You'll get all the notifications of our new episodes, which come out sometime in the neighborhood of Wednesdays. Well, they'll be dated Wednesdays. They may come out a little later, depending on things. But yeah, there you go.
Woot.
Fucking trophy. Fuck out of here. Y'all want to say anything, or are we just going to hit the stop button?
Just hit it.
We're just going to hit the stop button. Goodbye.